Welcome to HEFLA's virtual KBIS trade show for 2021. My name is Scott Kaminski. I'm the Marketing Communications and PR Manager for HEFLA. And what we are going to be talking about here is our Loox5 LED lighting system. We're going to start by talking a little bit about some of the components and some of the things that makes Loox5 so great. And then we're going to go and see some lighting in application. All right, let's talk about Loox5 itself. So HEFLA has been doing LED lighting for a number of years. And we've kind of taken all of the information and all of the knowledge that we gained over the previous generations and kind of driven that knowledge into this Loox5 system. What we left behind were the components. The components in our previous generation of lighting were great. They really kind of in some ways set the standard for the industry. But what we have here and what we are going to talk about with Loox5 is actually something that's even better. We've got Samsung LEDs that are driving or producing the light for whether we are talking about linear light in strips or pucks and other types of fixtures, but then we also have updated chips and things like that. So really, really amazing stuff to talk about with kind of the evolution of Loox5. This is a very, very small, kind of minuscule subset of the products which you will see in our catalog. But there's some really great stuff to be able to talk about just here on the table, because we are talking about lights which can be surface mounted, they can be recess mounted, but then we can talk about the lights themselves. And the linear light is a good example of this, because previous generation of lighting, we had kind of a standard wide strip. Worked great. We still actually have this width of strip in our lighting and available today, but with the new LEDs and with the new chips, we are now able to get the same amount of light put or better out of an 8mm wide strip or even a 5mm wide strip. Really, really amazing stuff. And then we've also changed and updated some things for, we've kind of upped our extrusion game, because we have different extrusions where you can cast light onto particular parts of cabinetry and things like that. Whether it's above or below or within. And then we also even have things like this dark strip right here, which gives this really nice kind of diffused glow to your designs. When we're talking about light, we also have to talk about color temperature. So a lot of the fixtures that you get with HEFLA, you have your choice of either having a warm or cool color temperature or fixture, whether it's linear light or a puck or something else like that, or like one of our flat mount fixtures. You typically have two temperatures of warm, two temperatures of cool to choose from, but then we also offer multi-white strips and fixtures. There's some really amazing stuff that you can do from a design perspective and or with task lighting and things like that with the Loox5 LED system. We also need to talk about RGB. So we've got this here in a dark red, kind of looks like it's an alarm, but we can actually, through our RGB strips, we can change that to green, we can change it to blue, to purple, to yellow. We can really kind of duplicate all of the colors of the rainbow within a linear strip or one of our RGB fixtures. So really, really amazing things that you can do with the system. All right, let's take a walk and go through and look at the kitchen. Because the kitchen here, we actually have it set up where we can kind of show off some of our scenes and some of the other kind of functionality that we can pull off with our lighting. Let's talk about where we can add light and how we can add light, but then also how we can change it. So we can light up the countertops, which is almost kind of a must now in these spaces. But this is great for task lighting. Also certainly has some living in place things to consider. But then also let's talk about adding light for design purposes. So we've got this really nice kind of warm glow aesthetic that's going up above the cabinetry, but then also around the cabinetry. But then also, because we are HEFELA and we want to make sure that the insides of your cabinets function entirely well, that doesn't just include hardware, that also absolutely includes lighting as well, because we want to make sure that you're able to see and interact with everything in those spaces. But then, because this kitchen has been outfitted in the appropriate way, it's got our multi-white light here, and we've set it up in these particular scenes, we can kind of warm things up in this space if we would like to. If that's really kind of where, you know, if I was the owner of this kitchen and this was my kitchen and I wanted to warm things up, I could absolutely do that based off of my mood. I could also kind of switch things over to daylight. You know, we can make things just a little bit clearer, a little bit cooler, but then we can also even get cooler beyond that. And then we have to talk about in drawers. It is going to really have just this amazing design, but also this amazing functional effect on your spaces. And that is really just a little bit of what you can do with Loox5 lighting in your spaces. If there are any other questions that you have regarding anything that you've seen in this video or others, please feel free to go to our website, look to our catalogs, talk to your HEFELA sales representatives, talk to our customer service team members, and certainly pose a question to us or a comment here on our social media channels. Thank you so much for your time here in this video, and enjoy the rest of the show.